Hello, is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So, hi students. Good evening, everyone. So, last session, so we seen about expressions. So, how to evaluate expressions. So, what are the difficulties we face, like a precedence of operators, and we also seen the associativity of operators. And I shown you the list of all the operators with their priorities. That means the precedence and its associativity. So now getting into the basic structure of a C program. So how to write a program and what are the basic things that are included in that C program. So first of all, we'll see and each block you see. So that block is one section. Okay. Uh, like we have documentation section, we have linking section, definition section, global declaration section, main function, and sub program section. So these are the different sections you can write while writing a C program. Okay, so we'll look at what actually we'll have in each section in detail, and later I'll show you how to write this with the help of a program. Okay, so first going to documentation section here. This is the first section. So you basically write in when you're writing a program. Okay, so what actually this documentation section? This is called as either we can call it as comment section also. You can call it as a documentation section, or we can call it as comment section. What is the purpose of writing these comments and how to write this section? So this section it basically it includes two types of comments. You can make it as a single line comment, or you can make it as uh, multi-line comments, single line comment or multi-line comments. So what is single line and what is multi-line, and what actually this comment means? So comment means the statement or something you write to understand what is the purpose of writing this code. Suppose if I'm writing one program, so what is the actual task it is included in that program? Suppose if I'm writing a program uh, to find average of numbers. So in the comment section, I will write this one, the program for calculating the average of numbers. Like when I simply open the program in the future, whenever I open the program, so by looking at these comments, I can easily understand what is the program that was written inside it. If I open that file, I can easily understand without going into the logic, without going into the logic, without seeing anything. By looking at that comment section or documentation section, you can easily identify what is the purpose for writing this code, what is the task that is involved in this program. So that can be easily understood by writing this comments. So nothing happens when you skip this comment also. Later when you open it, so you have to completely analyze the code. If you have a comment means, simply by looking at the comment you can say, okay, this program is for calculating average, okay, this program is for calculating the factorial of a number. So by looking at the comment, you can easily identify what is the purpose for writing this one. And whatever you're writing inside this comment, you no need to follow any rules for writing these comments. Okay, So comments we generally write with a normal English. So there is no rules and regulations for writing the comments. But only one rule you need to follow, that is whether you are writing a single line comment or you are writing a multi-line comment. Okay, if it is a single line comment, see, if it is a single line comment, I will start the comment like this. So these are the two slash symbols, slash, two slash symbols, and you can write the comment. This is a single line comment. So whatever I write after those two slashes, that is actually the comment part. I can also write multi-line comments. Multiple line comment. Suppose if I want to write, so multiple line comment, there should be a starting point and there should be an ending point for that. If it is a single line, only as a starting point is enough. If it is a multi-line comment, you should write the starting point and ending point. So starting point is represented with this symbol slash star. And the ending part is star slash. So this is multi-line comments. I have written this comment in multiple lines. When you are writing a multi-line comment, you have to give the starting point and ending point of your comment. If it is a single line comment, you can simply specify the starting point, that is enough. You don't need to specify the ending point. Okay. So the purpose of writing these comment lines is to simply identify the purpose. So what is the purpose of that program? So that can be easily identified when you write a comment. Okay, here you can write the purpose of the program, the name of the person, the name of the user, that means the author name you can give. You can give the date and times of when this program was written. So such kind of things can be written inside the comment. So which are not actually the part of your program, which are actually not the part of your program. They are actually not related to the task you are doing. Simply the person who has written that means the author name, the time and date when he or she has written that. So those things can be written in the comment section or in the documentation section. Generally this documentation section is used whenever you want to refer to this program in future. You can simply look at the document part and you can identify the task easily. Okay, today I have written the program. Later, like after 1 year, if I open this program, I may not remember the purpose of writing this one. So for what reason I have written this code? For what reason I have written this logic? So I may not remember all that things after 1 year or 2 years. So later, for if any problem we face, and if you open that code, by looking at that documentation part, you can identify, okay, the reason for this code is so and so reason. So for that reason, we'll write this documentation. So when you go for a big project, so definitely we have to follow this documentation. When we are learning at simple programs we write, so we don't write these comments or documentation. But when you move for writing a big project, so there definitely we have to, maybe today I work for an organization and I have written this logic, some logic I have written. And after 1 year, if I left that organization and some other person is holding that position, if he want to do any modifications on that, so he may not know what logic I have used. That means he can understand, but after spending some time on that logic, he might understand. So to not to waste the time, we give the documentation. By looking at the documentation, they can identify, okay, this is the purpose, this is the logic here. So that can be easily identified. Okay, for that reason, we make a habit of writing this documentation. So look here, in the right side of this structure, I have written one example also. The sample program created. So that is one simple comment I written. A sample program was written. Okay, and the next one, and moving to the next part of this structure, that is linking section. So what is this linking section? So you people clear with this documentation part? and and the second part here is linking section. So what actually will have in this linking section is, so when you are writing this linking section, we have to follow this hash include, and we'll write something in between this, in between this angular brackets, that is less than and greater than. So what we'll write inside this is, we call them as header files. Call them as header files. So in every C compiler you take, so we'll have some set of header files. Like based on the operations I'll perform, we were given some header files. So header files, like example stdio.h. So the extension .h, it includes that file is a header file. The extension .h it says that that is a header file. stdio means standard input output header file. That means if my program want to take any input or output, I'll use some predefined functions. Some predefined functions. Function means a set of instructions. A set of instructions which are already defined. Someone has already defined and they placed those predefined functions in these header files. Any input output operations can be done with the help of this header file. Suppose if you want to do any mathematical operations like calculating the square root, calculating the absolute value, calculating the floor or seal values, for that purpose I have a header file called math.h. Math.h. I have a data type called strings. So to perform any operations on strings, I'll use the header file string.h. String.h is one header file which consists of all the functions which are related to strings. Math.h will have all the header files which are related to mathematical operations. Input output operations will be done with the help of this stdio.h. Same way we have many header files, conio.h, console input output header file, stdlib.h,
Sir,
standard library head. Yes,
sir, we can add anything on the dot with
hello.
sir.
Yes,
Sir, now you was SPDIO and that. Can we add anything on that, sir?
anything.
Like science, anything.
Hello, your voice is not audible. I'm getting many breaks in your voice.
Sir, can we put now you have put math.h, sir. Can we put like science.h, like all?
Science.h.
Yes, sir. Can we make?
No, no, no. We can't make those header files are predefined. They were already defined by the compiler. When they release the compiler, they'll include those header files there, and we have to use only those header files which are already defined and placed in the compiler.
Okay, sir.
So we can't create our own header files as of now. So you can only use. So you have a list of header files. It exists in the compilers. So you can include those header files, and whatever are defined inside that header files, you can use them. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay,
So
sir.
like this. We have many header files. It exists. Excuse me. So you can simply include those header files. So how to include them is by writing this statement hash include, and in between this angular brackets you'll specify the names of those header files. Like I'll write like this stdio.h. The same way, if I want to include math.h, again I'll write hash include math.h. I can include this header file. So if you want to include any header file, you can use that many number of include statements. So whenever you include, you want to include, so you can include them with the help of that hash include statement. So this section we call it as linking section. This section is called as linking section. So in every program, what we do is we'll write at least input and output operations for sure. In whatever program you take, so that program will have an input and output. So at least we have to include at least one or two header files when you are writing the program. Like when you want to apply input output operations, we require compulsorily we require this header file for sure, that is stdio.h. Without that header file you can't include use the functions which are defined in this stdio.h. They exist in your when you are installing that C program, whatever compiler or something you install, so it exists. So you need to include them in your program whenever you want to use. If my program want to use some mathematical operations, I have to include math.h. If I want to do any string operations, I have to include string.h. If I want to write input or output statement, I need to include stdio.h. So like that way, I have to include those header files in the program. Okay. And next part, that means the next section is a definition section. Next section is definition section. So definition section, so I already told you, when we are discussing about constants, when we started about the concept of this constants, I told you how to define a constant. So writing a constant is like this. I use hash define. You can give some name to your constant and you can give some value to that. Hash define max 100. That means throughout the program I want to use this value max. The value of this max is 100 for the complete program. For the whole program, the value of max is 100. Whenever I want to use this value, I can use the name max. And generally in the definition section, the names of the constant I use is given in uppercase. Okay, that is a habit of writing a definition. Wherever you want, you can use it, but the names can be written like this. So how I write? Hash define minimum is 10. I can write hash define maximum is to 50. You can write max or you can write maximum. You can give any name of your choice here, but make a habit of giving the names in uppercase. Okay, so this is about definition section. You can write any number of definitions in your program if you wish. Okay, there is no restriction, but all of them have to be defined separately. So I can't place a comma and I can't give a list of all those definitions one statement. You have to give a separate definition for every constant you want to define. You want to two constants, you make it two statements. You want to 10 constants, make it 10 statements. Okay. And the next part is global declaration section. Global declaration, that means we already discussed about variables. So whatever we discussed till now, not today's class, till the previous class, all those are the basic concepts. So we'll make use of those basic concepts everywhere when we are constructing a program. So to construct a beautiful building, you require some pre-task. So that is what we have done till now. And whatever we learned till now we'll be using all of them in when we are writing the program. Every concept we'll use somewhere. We discussed constants. We have already discussed about hash define, right? So when this is global declaration, we'll come across the names variable. So what is variable? So we already discussed. Variables are the names given to your memory locations, and they belongs to some data type. So data types we already discussed, like int, float, char, double, long int, short int. So everywhere we'll make use of those statements which we learned. Okay, so you have to be thorough with those basic concepts. So whenever we give a name, we'll discuss about the rules of identifiers. Whenever you say variable, it requires, so what is a data type and what is a variable, how to give values, how to give names. Okay, so coming to this global declaration section, will use many variables when writing the programs. Many variables. There might be some situations where those variables which you write in your program, so they can be used in more than one function. More than one function. So we'll not use this global declaration as of now. So after 15 to 20 classes, then only we'll come across this global declaration. Maybe I'm not sure, even though I'll explain you this concept now. So I'm not sure you'll understand what is this global declaration, because first of all you should know what is a function, how to write them, how we'll make use of this global variable. So without knowing all that, so it is waste of now as I tell you what is a global declaration. But the variables which are used in more than one function, like I have a variable, I want to use it in the main function as well as in some other function. So if you want to use the same variable in multiple functions, you can use these variables, which we call them as global variables. Okay, and next one is main function. Next one is main function. So this is a very, very, very important part of your program, main, because whatever is the size of the program you write, the program execution starts from this point. Program execution starts from this point. That means when you write a program, like make it, you would consider a program of 10 lines, or you consider a program of 1000 lines. This main is the starting point of your program. It is a starting point. So when I say that is a starting point, in whatever program you consider, there should be only one starting point. That means your program should contain only one main. And compulsorily every program should contain a starting point, right? So every program must and should contain only one main for sure. It should contain main, but that too only one main function. And main function, it will have two flower braces, or you can say them as curly braces. This is the starting point of the main, and this is the ending point of the main. For any function, opening curly braces is the starting point, and closing curly braces is the ending point. So opening curly braces is the logical start of your program. Logically, the program execution starts from that point, and closing curly braces is logically the ending point of the program. That is logical end point. Okay, whatever statements you want to write, you have to write them in between these 2 points. That means opening and closing curly braces. And this opening and closing curly braces, it consists of mainly two parts. It mainly consists of two parts. So two parts is declaration and executable part. Declaration part means whatever are the variables I want to use in my program. Whatever are the variables I want to use in the program. So they can be declared here. That is why that part is called as declaration part. You can look here. Int b equal to 22. So this is declaration part. That is declaration part. Variable declaration simply. Declaration part consists of variable declarations. So declaring a variable is the syntax is like this: int b, data type, variable name, and there itself I can initialize the value. Otherwise, I can simply write like int b. This is also a declaration part. And the second part in the main function is executable part. That means here I will be writing what are the instructions I want to execute. Whether user want to take input, whether user want to do some operations, user want to display something, all those are included in this executable part. All input operations, processing statements, output operations, everything is included in executable part. In declaration part, I'll have only variable declarations. Only variable declarations. You take integer variables, you take float variables, you whatever type of variables data you take, those variables can be declared here in declaration part. In executable part, you can list out all the statements that you can write. Input, processing, output, all statements can be written in executable parts. Okay, and next part is subprogram section. So previously in the linking section, you will be including all the header files where you want to use predefined functions. Predefined, which are already defined and you are simply using them. Whereas in subprogram section, I will be writing user defined functions. User defined function. Suppose I want to write a statement for displaying something. Suppose I want to write a statements for calculating factorial. I can give all those instructions with one name, which I call it as function, which we call them as functions. And these functions are user defined. As a user, if I am writing the program, I'll be the user and I will define my own function. If you are writing the program, you will become the user and you can write your own functions. So those functions are called as user defined functions. And user defined functions are also follow the same pattern of your main function, except the name. In main function, the name is fixed. You have to use only that name, that is main, main. Whereas in user defined function, the name of that function is also user's choice. User can decide whatever name he wish, he can keep that name. If I like my name, I'll keep it my name. If you like some other name, you can give that name. Whatever is the name, you can give that name. See, function fun, that is one name I've given to that function. And here it is compulsorily main, because that is the starting point, that is fixed. Compulsory name is main itself. So We have discussed how many sections? 3, 4, 5, 6 sections we discussed,
Sir,
right? Yes.
sir, why the void is coming void?
I'll tell you later that one. Okay. Void means actually it is nothing. The actual meaning of that is nothing. When we write any function, that function will have a return value, return type. We say the return
Okay,
type.
sir.
If the return type is nothing, I'll say void. If the return type is integer, I'll say int main. Okay.
So, sir, why is the print f is coming?
That is a name. That is name.
Okay, sir.
I'll tell those things now. I'm just don't get into that. I'm just giving you how the structure is now. As of now, you just concentrate only on that part. Okay. So just don't get into what is why we are writing that statement. So you can see percentile d, you can see slash and double quotations. So you just don't get into that part now. Okay. You just concentrate how the structure looks. So that structure is having this many sections. Like how many? 4, 5, 6 sections we have. Okay, the 6 sections because the basic structure includes these sections. Okay, but out of all these sections, you can skip writing all the sections except main. If you don't wish, if you think it is not necessary, you can skip all the sections, but main is one section which is compulsorily to be written in the program, because I'm telling you that is the starting point of your program execution. So when you're writing a program in, you should compulsorily you should have a starting point, right? So compulsorily will write the main function, and rest of the things are optional. If I wish, I can skip writing them. If I think they are necessary in the program, I will write them. If I think they are not necessary, I can skip. I can skip documentation, I can skip linking, I can skip definition, I can skip global declaration, sub program section, everything can be skipped. But when you skip a main function, there is no program. That's it. If there is a program, means that program compulsorily it should contain a main. If main is absent, means there is no program. That's it. So that is the main function is such an important part. That is you can say that is the heart of your program. You can say heart or you can say liver, whatever. So that is that important part in the program. Okay, so this is what structure. I'm pretty sure you don't get all the things now, because uh, when we start writing a program, so when I give you with one example, so then you might get into you can just compare the program with the structure, so then you will get a good idea on the program structure. Okay, but I'm just letting you know what are the sections that are included in writing a program. So for that reason I want to tell you this structure. But just don't get confused or don't get worried if you don't understand this structure completely. I'm sure no one can understand the structure completely by looking at this thing first time. So when we start writing a program, you can compare those programs with the structure. So then you will get a good clarity, good idea on the program structure. Okay. So now I'll tell you. Uh, so this is the name of this editor is Dev C++. So this is one compiler you can use for writing your C programs, writing and executing the programs. There are many compilers available. You can use Turbo C2 or Turbo C3, Turbo C++, Turbo C4 is also there. So Dev C++ is one compiler I am using for writing and executing my programs. Okay, so in this Dev C++, I can use it for both C and C++. Okay, so first I'll write. First, I'm writing my first program. So I'll say I'll click on this one, file. So new source file. Okay, when I click on this, I'll get this empty editor. So it is visible, right? Dev C++.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
you can download this one from internet and you can use. Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, should we do in turbo or this Dev, sir?
What?
Sir, should we do it in this Dev or turbo?
You can do anything. There is nothing difference in writing, and the code is important. The
Okay, sir.
program is important. You can do it in any compiler. So I'm comfortable with this. I'll use this. If you are comfortable with Turbo C, you can use Turbo C. No problem with any compiler.
Sir, I'm downloading now.
What?
Sir, I'm downloading now.
No, no, not now. Don't download it now. Later you can download. Okay, you just listen and see it now. Okay. So Dev C++. So first I'm opening one empty file. So here you can write your programs. Once after writing the program, you save the program, and after when you save the program, when you want to execute your program, so write the program. So save your program first. So when you save the program, now you have your program. So you need to execute the program next. Okay, when you are executing the program execution, it includes two steps. First step is compile. Second step is run the code. Okay, executing your program means doing these two steps. You need to compile your code and then you can run your program. Okay, so what happens when you compile and what happens when you run? When you are compiling the code, so what we already discussed about compiler, what the compiler will do. Hmm? What the compiler will do?
It will do change the. It will do changes the line by line paragraph.
Actually, the task of the compiler is to convert your high level code to machine level code.
It came to now our studies.
Actually, when you have a compiler, so it will convert the code which is written in high level language to a machine level language. That
Converting the
means
low level or machine language into high level language.
no, you are telling reverse. It converts a high level
Sorry,
code
high
to the,
level language to low level
yeah,
language or machine language.
yes, it converts your high level to low level. So in the process of that conversion, the compiler will also verify whether this user or this program was written as per the rules and regulations of the language or not. It will also verify that whether this program was written as per the rules and regulations. So those rules and regulations were called in programming as syntax. They are called as syntax. That means the compiler will also verify whether this program was written as per the syntax or not. It verifies that one also. It also verifies whether this program was, it will convert your high level to low level. In that process, it verifies whether this program was as per the syntax of this language or not. If the code you are compiling is not as per the syntax, it will not convert. It will not convert. What it will do is, it will show you the error messages. So where you have not followed the syntax, where you have not followed the syntax, in those places it will throw you an error message. The compiler requires every line to be written as per the syntax. Every point have to be written as per the syntax. When you fail to write as per the syntax, the compiler will throw you an error message. Okay, when it throws an error message, you have to rectify those errors and then you have to compile it. Without successful compilation, you can't run your program. When the program was successfully compiled, then only you will get the permission to do the second step. Okay, even though you try to run the code directly, first it will compile and then only it will run. Otherwise, it will not run. Okay, so these are the two steps you have to do when you want to execute your program. Okay, now I'll show you how to write the program. So first I'll start with the documentation section. I want to just write a single line comment. I'm writing the comment like this. So this is my first program. You can write multi-line or you can write single line, no problem. Okay, so single line means only starting point for the comment section is enough. When it is multi-line, starting and ending point you have to specify. Okay, after completion of this comment section, now I'll move on to linking section. Linking section, I'll write like this: hash include stdio.h. So this is for including standard input output header file. Including standard input output header file. So I have included that. That means I want to do some input or output operations in my program. So for that I have to write this stdio.h. Okay, and then I'll write void main. So I'm not writing this. I'm skipping the next two sections, that is definition section and global declaration section. I'm not using them as of now. And the basic programs you need to write on that global declaration and definition. So I'm not writing those things. So void main. So inside this void main, I'll give one statement. I want to print one statement. I'll say printf. So printf is one function. I'll tell you clearly about this printf in the next class. Okay, just as of now, you just remember printf is a name. Okay, printf is a name. That's it. So the print statement will display something on my screen. Okay, what I want to display, I have to place that in the double quotations. Printf I want to display this thing. This is my first program in C language. Okay, so this is my program, and I will save my program. So for saving the program, you click on File. You have an option, Save. You click on that. So wherever you want to print, save the code, you can just go there. And say batch 2. I'll inside this. I'll save the program first. So whenever you are saving the program, you make sure to give the extension.
So how do
So
you
name,
save it?
you can simply click on this file, save, or simply you can say Control S is also enough. So where you want to save, so you just in your computer, so you select the path where you want to save. So you can I want to create I'll create one. So there is already one folder is there. So in that folder I'll give the name. So name I'm giving it as first. Whenever you are saving the program, you can give any name of your choice, but make sure to give it as .c. So .c indicates that this file is a C programming file. We have to give it as .c. Any name you can give. Name is your choice, but after the end of the name, you make it .c. So .c indicates that that is a C programming file. I'll keep it like .c and click on Save button. Okay, I'll show you. So this is your program. First, see, look at this. It was created on 15/10/2020 at 7:34. So now the time, just now I have created, and type of the file is C file. Compulsorily I have to give it as .c, then only I'll get it as a C file. Okay, so you make sure to give it as .c. Okay, so as of now I have only this file first, right? So that is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So look on your code now. So after completing my code, I've completed writing the program. I already saved the file with some name, and now you can go here. So you can see on this execute. So you have number of options here, right? File, edit, search, view, project, execute. So you click on the execute. So you have the first option here, compile. Visible?
Yes.
Yes. So you click on that this option, compile. So here it will simply take a fraction of seconds to compile. See, when it was compiled successfully, at the bottom you will get this time. So it took, for compilation it took 3.14 seconds. So that means your code got converted into low level successfully. Successfully it got converted into low level. Suppose if I am not following, let us say I have not given this semicolon at the end of the printf, there is a semicolon, it is visible. Suppose if I remove the semicolon here, actually that semicolon is a part of the syntax. Semicolon is also the part of the syntax. If I simply remove that semicolon and if I try to compile, see, it will not compile successfully. It will throw me an error message. So see, error, expected semicolon before the closing token. So the compiler will very keenly observe whether this program is as per the syntax or not. I have to rectify that error. I have to modify that error and then I have to recompile the code. So when I compile, if the compilation is successful, it will show me the compilation time. So see, now the compilation time is 0.34 seconds. So when the program got compiled successfully, now you can look here. You will get an extra file. With the same name, you can find another file. But this is not a C file, this is an application file. Which will have the machine code. But we cannot understand that code and we cannot open that file. But when you are running the program, that will happen. That step will continue with this file, not with your C file. So that is why compulsorily you have to compile it successfully before running the code. That means the second step will be continued from this file, not from your C file. Okay, so you'll get an extra file with the same name whatever you given previously. With the same name, it will create a new file. And you can click on the same execute, and below the compile you have another option, run the code. See, this is my first program in C language. So whatever I have written in the double quotations, that was displayed on the screen. Got it?
Yes, sir.
If I want to do any modifications, I can do some modifications. If suppose I just want to change this statement, I am changing my statement. So whenever I have modified my code, that means I have just modified the statement that I'm writing in the print statement. So once you do any modifications on your code, again you have to recompile the code. You can't directly run. You have to recompile. Again, I'll compile the code. Again, you run the code. See, the statement got modified now. So got it? So this is your very simple program, but very basic program you can write in C language. You can't write a smaller program than this. This is your very basic program in C language. Okay. So with this, I'll stop for today's session. You have any doubts?
No, sir.
So you just try to download any one editor. Like you go with this Dev C++. You can.
Sir,
Yes.
does this Dev C++ require any special code